Welcome to Hochoka Podcast.
To be a Native American elder today means to have navigated the forced assimilation of the boarding school era and to have witnessed the loss of culture, language, and more. How might you have emerged from such an experience? Let's continue our conversation with two who show us the way. Hello, Mitaki. Welcome to Hochoka, here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian School's campus. I'm Scott Wooster, your Hochoka host. Today we're joined once again by Lydia Whirlwind Soldier and Joseph Marshall III. When we last spoke, we asked them what it was like to be a Lakota elder. Today, we look back and ahead with their wisdom. Welcome back, Lydia and Joseph. So in an earlier podcast, Joe, Lydia mentioned that going home in the summer was the best thing. It was a breath of fresh air because she could leave. She looked forward to the school year being done.
Right.
She'd go live with her family. She'd get to climb the hills of Bad Nation. She'd get to listen to her elders and learn who she was. And it was a different way of being parented at that time, is what I'm hearing both of you say. And you told me off camera, and I love this story, that you ran away from school 66 times.
Yep.
And that's a small soundbite from a much longer story, right? But
Right.
But it tells a lot. It's very telling. The number is a telling number. So the issue is that the kids are not dumb. I've worked with kids for 30 years, and they get it. And you guys both got it at an early age. You understood why you were being stubborn, why you didn't want to assimilate at that age. You didn't know what assimilation was, of course, but you knew that something didn't feel right. You had a gut sense.
Something wasn't right.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little more about what that felt like as a kid, or what?
Well,
what
anytime that you're forced to do anything, there's, at least in me, there was a little element of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to give in entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mentioned that the first day of school, my hair was cut off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was deloused.
Yep.
So it didn't start out well.
Yeah, right.
And it was a battle after that.
Yep.
And I knew generally it was someplace I didn't want to be. I wasn't a boarding student. I was a day student. My grandparents lived a mile down the road, so I rode the bus to Kyle Day School. Luckily for me, I was the boarding student.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, the experiences while I was there they're not very good.
Yeah. Yep.
So I resisted at every turn.
And knew it well.
Yeah, I did everything to make it hard for them.
Yeah. You knew when you walked in the door and they cut your hair that they had drawn a line in the sand, and you were going to cross it every chance you get.
Every chance I got.
Rightfully so,
right.
too. Yeah. And Lydia, can you speak to your experience? How did that feel as a kid? What was your gut sense being sent to school?
My uncle was like 12 years old, and my great-grandparents were hiding him because we didn't have a school nearby, and they didn't want him to go to boarding school because they knew what was happening in boarding school, so they hid him. And somehow the BIA found out, and they came to the house, and they found me. I was 4 years old. My cousin was 5, my brother was 6, and my uncle was like 12. And they took us all. And they asked my grandparents, where do you want them to go? And my grandparents didn't know. And they said, we'll take them where there's a space available. So they took us to St. Francis.
Yeah. Which is probably an hour from home, right? Would you say?
And that's probably the first thing they did was cut our hair. They put DDT in our hair. It was a powder. And we had that DDT in our hair for a week. And they bathed us and took our clothes and gave us uniforms.
Yeah.
And, it was all downhill from there.
From 4 years old?
Yeah.
You were 4?
Yeah.
Come on. I mean...
and I was kind of a quiet kid. I was observant. but I was quiet.
Yeah.
I knew if I was quiet, I wouldn't get hit.
Right. Right.
But my cousin, she was real bold, and she talked back, and she was beaten all the time. And the third grade teacher kept her another year just to break her. And so after the third year, she never spoke Lakota again.
Wow.
And she never spoke Lakota till she was dying. And I went to see her, and that's all she talked was Lakota. You know, it was just like when we were kids. She spoke Lakota all the time. And she remembered it all.
She did remember it all, yeah. And they took what they thought they took from her. You can't take that away completely. What have you done through your lives to make sure that they didn't have to go through what maybe you guys went through or your ancestors went through? What do you feel like you've done to make that better for your kids?
I think that I was acutely aware of how authority and teachers especially interacted with my children. I was very protective in that sense because of what I went through.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to experience the same kind, even though times have changed and the rules were not as harsh, I still worried that they would experience a kind of authoritarianism that I faced when I was in school. That was my main concern.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, I just wanted them to grow up to be good, compassionate, caring adults. And that's really what I wanted for them.
Yeah.
And to get along in the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, in that sense, I saw the value of education as far as their own personal development. I made sure that they understood that for me, it was also a tool to take something away in my childhood.
Yeah.
So they know the difference.
Yeah. And so you learned culture, tradition from your family. Were you able to pass that? We've already talked in this podcast about child rearing practices, kindness, how we treat each other, the hoop, we're all making relatives, all those things. Did you specifically go in with any intent to teach specific Lakota language, cultures, values, or did you just try to do it by example? Just
by example. And there really wasn't time, in every instance to do that, to set aside the time to do it. But just by example is the best way to do it.
Boy, what's missing from, you and I have talked before about how wonderful it would have been to sit around the campfire and follow the timing of the seasons and be able to teach in that way and not have to do the 9 to 5 and not be able to just teach that as a way of life.
Of course.
And what have you done with your children and grandchildren to help continue the culture, to continue the traditions?
I hope. I hope I set a good example for them,
Yeah.
Example of being a good Lakota and yet surviving in a white society, succeeding.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather said, was stand solid in your own traditions and your own culture, but be able to step outside of that circle and succeed. So that's the way I tried to teach my kids. And
taken away at 4, you missed a lot of those things that could have happened during the school year. You weren't home for a lot of those celebrations, for the ceremonies, those kinds of things. Do you still have a sense of loss at this age as an elder? Do you have a sense of loss?
I don't have a sense of loss anymore because I went right back to it the first opportunity I had.
Yeah.
And when I was home, my grandfather sang to us. Sometimes the first thing I heard in the morning was him singing. So, it was just And they told us stories around the campfire, you know, as my grandfather said, you come from great warriors and chiefs and strong women. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
So that's the way, being, as somebody said, I'm stubborn. Being as stubborn as I am, I'm still Lakota.
Yeah. And too stubborn to feel that loss.
Right.
Yeah. Which I love, and I see that in you too. Do you want to speak to that, Joseph?
Well, it's, as she said, you reconnect with family, and they're their main purveyors of whatever it is that you become, whether it's language, and really how they live their lives. Because as I said, kids learn by doing, watching. So just being around grandparents, just being around those kind of people, you learn how to be a Lakota, just from the way they live.
Yeah.
So to me, it was always that reconnection going back. It didn't matter what else was going on anywhere else. I could be playing a football game one evening, and then the next day I'm back to being my grandparents' grandson and absorbing whatever it is they had to offer. So it was that back and forth.
Walking
that
in
really, sustained me as an individual. A family supports each other. It doesn't matter who you are. We all have a role in that family. And an infant may be dependent on us, but that dependency teaches us something, too. It works both ways. And that dynamic continues throughout the development and the growth of the family.
Yeah.
We all have different roles, and it changes as the family gets older, as the kids get older.
Yeah.
You know, all the lessons change.
Yeah.
Because they grow older. We, as parents and grandparents, also are growing.
Yeah.
And learning. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. You're not the same person because of what the next generation is teaching you. That's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you were in school, we've talked about all of the people, all of the bad things that have happened in school, and coming home and having it just seem like this brand new gift. Were there people that you ran into in any of the schools that treated you with respect, that treated you like you were an equal, that took your knowledge into account? Was there anybody that seemed to genuinely care for you?
To tell you the truth, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember having a favorite teacher. Somebody asked me who my favorite teacher was, and I couldn't think of one.
Right.
Because I felt from the beginning they were trying to change me, and they were looking down at me.
Yeah.
You know, your culture's no good, your language is no good. Yeah, and so that meant I'm no good.
Yep.
So that's the way I've always felt, you know.
That was the message you got from all of them.
Right.
Unequivocally.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You too, you have that same experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was for me, it was always the feeling that I had to resist to a point. You know, there was that resistance that was always, even throughout high school.
Yeah.
There's that element that I'm not buying everything you have to say, or all that you're trying to sell me. I'm not going to buy it all. I'm going to keep something.
Yeah.
There's a part of me you're never going to get to know.
Yeah. Yep.
So, to answer your question, no.
Yeah, not one. And that's amazing. What a loss.
Right.
So it begs the question, I think, how do you go from being that 4-year-old kid in a hostile environment? How do you go from being that young boy having his hair cut and running away from school to being truly people who are proud, who are humble, who have raised families, who have become writers, who have become educators, who have done a lot of things that they wanted to do in their life? You didn't know it at that age. You didn't know it when you were young. But how did you become this? Whose shoulders did you stand on to get here? We've sort of talked about it, but specifically, I mean, who got you where you are?
I'd have to say mainly family. Grandparents, especially my maternal grandparents, certainly my paternal grandparents as well. But the relatives that were in that sphere. I had an uncle, I had some aunts that were influential when I was in grade school and junior high, who were very strong women. Of course, my grandmothers are very strong, too. So it wasn't a teacher.
Yeah.
It wasn't anybody in the educational system at all. There were a couple of good teachers that I related to.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
Yeah.
But throughout, 12 years of school, maybe only 2 teachers
Yeah.
that really treated me as a good person. And they treated me in a way that they were still they were telling me, you have to succeed as part of the mainstream. Not succeed as a native person, but succeed as part of the mainstream.
Yeah.
So there's a difference.
There's a huge difference, yeah.
But it was the family that was encouraging me as an individual, who were giving me the tools that I needed by being examples and by having specific lessons to teach.
Yeah.
So, it comes down to the family.
Yeah.
They all had a role in it.
Yeah.
And that's the way it used to be in the old days.
Yeah.
In that system that we had.
Yeah. I love, you've talked about your grandpa
Right.
a lot and learning stories and the ways from him and
Right.
bow making and lots of different things. But I love the fact that you gave a nod to a couple matriarchs, to the
definitely.
grandmas. That's
Definitely.
great to hear too, that you had that.
Exactly.
That's very positive. How about you? Who
I think the biggest mistake that people make with children is they don't teach them to appreciate differences. They tell the kids, we're all the same.
Yeah.
It's okay if your skin is brown, we're still the same, I've heard that all my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from my grandparents, I heard, appreciate differences. Learn different things.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful world. And we can learn from it.
Yeah.
And the people are different. Appreciate those differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be German or whatever, but I want to learn about you. I want to learn about people.
Yeah.
I want to learn about their feelings, their values.
Yeah.
And appreciate them.
Yeah.
For being them.
Yeah.
Not we're the same.
Right.
Because we're not.
Yeah.
We're not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And we need to celebrate our
Yeah.
differences.
And that's what I try to teach my kids.
Yeah.
To be open, to be accepting, to learn.
Yep. And to love and to respect. And I think that's such a big deal. We've covered so much, and I can't tell you how much it means to have you guys in here to share this information, to just have this conversation. You are elders. You're respected elders, at least by me, and I assume by our audience here too. I just want to thank you for joining us here at Hochoka, just being a part of this conversation. Anytime we can have you back, there's so much more to say because we could talk about a lot of this stuff forever. There's a lot of knowledge there. So thank you. Wopila.
Thank you.
And thank you to our audience for joining us here at Hochoka at the center of St. Joseph's Indian School campus, where we talk about issues that are central to Native American education today. Till next time, stay centered.